Good evening. Welcome back to Hellhound's Late Night Spook Show here on the Horror and Metal channel. We're going to do a quick album review, and I've been meaning to review an album by a death metal band, Autopsy, for a while, seeing as they're one of my favorite death metal bands and kind of underrated, at least amongst the more casual death metal listeners. So figured to go ahead and take a look at what is known as their reunion album, Macabre, seeing as they hadn't done any material in quite a while. I wasn't really a big fan of Acts of the Unspeakable and really gross sounding next album. Gross like in a really toilet humor way, which is not one of my favorite things, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, yeah, Macabre by Autopsy from 2011, kind of like a comeback album. And I think it's a huge step up from their previous two. Anyway, yeah, what's the lineup on this one? Well, Chris Reifert, who played drums in the legendary Scream Bloody Gore by Death, is behind the drum kit, of course, as always. He's kind of the main man when it comes to Autopsy. He plays drums and also does the vocals, and his precise beats and demonic growls are a sick combination. Eric Cutler and Danny Corrales are the guitarists here, and I find them both very underrated. Cutler also does the vocals on 3 tracks. It's a pretty cool death metal voice as well. I do prefer Reifert when it comes to Autopsy. Reifert, Cutler, and Corrales are the mainstays in the band, having been on every single recording. And they go through several bassists. The one here on the 4 strings being Joe Lewis, a very competent player in his own right. They had Steve DiGiorgio as a session member at one point too. So yeah, well, while I do prefer their first 2 albums, Severed Survival and Mental Funeral, I do think that Macabre is their best since these two, for sure. Yeah, like I said, this is one of the best reunion albums I ever heard, actually. Right up there with Worship Music by Anthrax and The Devil You Know by Heaven and Hell, Black Sabbath, just under a different moniker, the Dio Sabbath. And yes, a lot of times, often when a band makes a comeback after a few years of absence, they return with, some kind of boring and generic by-the-numbers rehash. But Macabre Eternal is a magnificent recording that is an exception to that rule, and with some truly distinguished bangers. Not much filler here, if any. Some of their most brutal and uniquely deranged tracks of their career, with creative riffs, memorable guitar solos, violent as hell drum beats, and some of the most gruesomely grotesque lyrics this side of Cannibal Corpse. Topped off with some truly animalistic death metal growls by Chris Reifert and Eric Cutler on a few tracks. Yeah, Seeds of the Doomed has one of my favorite Autopsy riffs. That slow dun 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 then goes into that awesomely fast dun 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 dun. Yeah, it's just awesome. Oh man, it just blows me away every time. Sadistic Gratification has a few memorable and really foreboding opening riffs as well, and some really killer guitar solo. Yeah, some of my other favorite tracks include Hand of Darkness, Dirty Gore Horror, Always About to Die, Seeds of the Doomed, Bridge of Bones, and Sewn Into One. But really, it's pretty much all killer. Not a flawless album. It's a little long for my taste, but it never really drags or lets up with a sheer aggression or filthy brilliance. This was the return to form I was hoping for. Macabre Eternal by Autopsy. Check it out. Alright guys, I'm Hellhound. Thank you for watching the Late Night Spook Show here on the Horror and Metal channel. Check this album out, and definitely check out some of their other work. Yeah, their debuts. Severed Survival is really good. Mental Funeral is great as well. And then some of their post-reunion stuff. Headless Ritual and Tourniquets, Hacksaws, and Graves. Yeah, all the really killer stuff. If you're into bands like Cannibal Corpse and Carcass and Death, you're definitely going to love Autopsy. And I think that after the first 2 albums, Macabre Eternal is a great place to start. Check it out. All right, guys. Till next time. Later.